My name is Zika, and today I'll be teaching you a math concept on how to find the velocity given a particle's position function. Let's get started. Here we have a problem ready for us. Let's read it together. Suppose the position of a particle at time t is modeled by the given function. Find the particle's position at t equals 2. Here we have our function. Let's read it. S of t, which models our position, equals 2t cubed plus 3t squared plus 4t plus 16. Now, in order to find the velocity, we must first find the derivative of the position particle. So, here we have s prime of t, which just models derivative, equals. So let's see our first term, 2t cubed. Here, we know that we have to find the derivative using the power rule. And in the power rule, it tells you that you must first take the exponent, which is 3, multiply it by the coefficient, which is 2. So here we have 2 times 3 is 6. Then, you write your variable, which is t, and you subtract 1 from your exponent. So 3 minus 1 is 2, and we write that. Moving on to our next term, 3t squared. Let's use the power rule again. The exponent is 2, the coefficient is 3. Multiplied by each other, we get 6. Write our variable t, and then we say 1 minus the exponent 2 is just 1. Let's move on to our next term, 4t. Now we can use the power rule again, because technically everything that has a variable is actually raised to the first power. So let's use it again. 1 times 4 is 4. And then you write your variable t, and you subtract 1 from the exponent, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Next we move on to our last term, which is 16. 16 is a constant. And given the derivative rules, any constant derived is actually 0. Now let's rewrite this so we can better understand it. Instead of writing s prime of t, we can actually write v of t, because in this case, we've just found the velocity using derivatives. We write 6t squared just like it is, but instead of writing 6t to the power of 1, we'll just write 6t, because the 1 doesn't really give us any value. We already know it's there. Moving on, we have 4t to the power of 0. We write the 4, but any variable raised to the power of 0 is actually just 1, and 4 times 1 is 4, so we won't have to write any variable here. Moving on to our constant, when it got derived, it became 0, which means we don't have to write it because it doesn't give us value. So now we've achieved our velocity function. But what they're asking us to do is to find the velocity at time t equals 2. So our next step is to plug in 2 for the variable t. We will write v of 2 equals, and here all you'll have to do is replace 2 with any variable that says t. So 6 times 2 raised to the power of 2. And your next term says 6t, so you'll write 6 times 2. Your next term says 4, so you'll just add 4. And let's do the math on this one. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 6, I'll write it down here, equals 24. Next you have 6 times 2, which is 12. And then you have adding 4. So let's do the math on this one. 24 plus 12 is 36. 36 plus 4 is 40. So here we found the velocity of our particle at time t equals 2 is actually 40. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope this was helpful. Have a good day!